Caroline Giuliani voted for Joe Biden, while her brother Andrew worked for Trump. Have their opposing political views caused a rift? How about a sibling rivalry? Here's the truth about the complicated family dynamic amongst Rudy Giuliani's kids. Rudy Giuliani has been married 3 times. His first wife was Regina Peruggi, but their marriage ended after more than a decade. According to the U.S. Sun, the couple decided to divorce after finding out they were second cousins. Rudy Giuliani married his second wife, broadcast journalist Donna Hanover, in 1984. The couple had 2 children together, Andrew and Caroline Giuliani. During their marriage, Hanover juggled her demanding journalism career with her job as mother and primary caregiver to their children. Years later, Hanover told New York Magazine, "People have learned how to do more than one thing at a time and found that it's a good way to live. Because whatever is going wrong, something is going right in your life if you have a lot of things going on, generally speaking." Hanover and Giuliani divorced in 2002. Giuliani was granted visitation rights with their children, but not joint custody. Hanover was also awarded $6.8 million as part of their divorce settlement, which was to be paid out over 3 years, according to the New York Post. Rudy had no children with his first wife, Regina. His first child, Andrew, was born in January 1986 when Rudy was 41 years old. After Andrew's birth, Rudy told the New York Times, "When it happens late, you sort of appreciate it a little more." While the public often perceives Rudy's recent legal troubles as his fall from grace, he was also embroiled in controversy around the time his son was born. In the mid-1980s, Rudy was the U.S. Attorney for Manhattan, where he was praised for successfully prosecuting drug dealers and crime organizations.
What I want is to be as effective as I can be as a United States Attorney.
As Giuliani's career progressed, however, his political ambitions drew some criticism. So, in January 1989, when Andrew was nearly 3, Rudy resigned from his position as U.S. Attorney for Manhattan. Giuliani said at a press conference, "It's a big step for me personally and professionally to leave the U.S. Attorney's office." Several months after Giuliani's resignation from the U.S. Attorney's Office, his wife gave birth to their daughter, Caroline Rose Giuliani. While not much information has been reported on Caroline's early life, it appears that much of the family's day-to-day life revolved around Rudy's political career. When Caroline was just a few months old, Rudy ran for mayor of New York City. However, he lost that first election to David Dinkins. Interestingly, Rudy claimed he lost in part due to election fraud. He told Spectrum News, "When I ran for mayor of New York City the first time, some people voted 8 or 10 times. Caroline was only 4 when her father ran for mayor for a second time in 1993. This time, Giuliani won the race and went on to serve as New York City's mayor from 1994 to 2001.
My dad's mayor!
After Giuliani was elected mayor, his wife and 2 young children took up residence at Gracie Mansion. The mansion is the official home of New York City's mayor and also serves as a historic site of sorts. It was first built in 1799 and has since undergone periodic restoration by the Gracie Mansion Conservancy. In May of 2000, Andrew and Caroline's home was thrust into the national spotlight when their father held a surprise press conference outside Gracie Mansion to announce that he and his wife were separating. According to the Washington Post, Hanover only learned of the separation by watching TV. That same day, she told reporters, "Today's turn of events brings me great sadness. I had hoped that we could keep this marriage together." Up until this point, Hanover had taken great care in shielding her children from the public eye. Hanover's friend Ellen Eisenstadt even told New York Magazine in 2000, "It became all the more important to her to have an area of privacy about her family and about herself. She doesn't want her personal stuff out there." After her divorce from Rudy Giuliani was finalized, Donna Hanover was hesitant to speak about their marriage. According to the U.S. Sun, however, Rudy's extramarital affairs were a driving force behind their divorce. The end of their marriage also took a toll on their children, primarily Caroline. She later wrote for Vanity Fair that her relationship with her father became strained after the divorce. Both Caroline and Andrew were also missing from public events in 2007 when their dad was running for president. Before the divorce, however, there was evidence that the children may not have seen their father as much as they should have. Hanover revealed in a 2000 interview with New York Magazine, "They'll say good morning to him, but I'm the caregiver, and if I'm not there, then I'll have my babysitter." As Rudy Giuliani and Donna Hanover moved on from their divorce, their children began growing up and navigating their own lives. For his part, Andrew Giuliani took an interest in golf. He first played in high school before eventually going on to play for Duke University. However, his time playing for Duke wasn't smooth sailing. As Golf Digest reported in 2008, Andrew was removed from the Duke team while he was a senior. Andrew ultimately sued Duke. For its part, the school publicly outlined the reasons he was kicked off the team, which included both physical and verbal abuse. Despite this setback, Andrew later made an unsuccessful attempt to become a professional golfer. Many years later, after Donald Trump became president, Andrew's career shifted into politics. His father and Trump had already been friends for decades, and according to Axios, Trump was genuinely fond of Andrew.
You know, you're really beautiful.
Oh, you dirty boy, you! Oh!
This likely helped Andrew secure a job in the Trump administration, where he worked in the Office of Public Liaison. One of Andrew's key roles in this position was to coordinate visits to the White House from various sports teams. After Donald Trump's exit from the White House in 2021, it was evident that Andrew Giuliani was still interested in public service. As a result, he ran for the Republican nomination for New York governor in 2022.
It's time to bring back New York.
Andrew lost in the 2022 primaries to Lee Zeldin. As reported by Politico, some voters may have been turned off by Andrew's ties to Trump and his father. Andrew told the outlet, "Look, I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I worked 4 years for President Trump, and I'm certainly proud of my father and his many accomplishments. So whether that had a positive effect, whether it had a negative effect on voters, I'll let other people break that down." Caroline Giuliani's career path was much different than her brother's. She attended Harvard University, where she majored in film production. During her time at Harvard, Caroline was involved in numerous film and theater productions. From there, she launched a successful career in film. Some of her production credits include television shows such as Trophy Wife and 666 Park Avenue. She's also a writer and director. In a 2020 Vanity Fair op-ed, Caroline wrote about why she decided to avoid a career in politics. She said in the piece, "Around the age of 12, I would occasionally get into debates with my father. It was disheartening to feel how little power I had to change his mind. The point is to illustrate one of the many reasons I have a fraught relationship with politics, like so many of us do." While Caroline Giuliani has never run for office, she has been a strong advocate for the Democratic Party. She has also publicly voiced her contempt for her father's beliefs and work. Before the 2020 presidential election, for example, Caroline wrote an essay for Vanity Fair titled, "Rudy Giuliani is my father. Please everyone, vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris." In the piece, Caroline wrote, "I hope you'll believe me when I say that another Trump term, a term itself that makes me cringe, will irrevocably harm the LGBTQ+ community among many others."
I just had no choice but to say something.
Also in 2016, she publicly backed Hillary Clinton for president, telling Politico, "I love Hillary. I think she's by far the most qualified candidate that we've had in a long while. My dad knows. I was for Barack in 2012. He knows and is fully comfortable with it and thinks I have a right to my opinion." While Andrew and Rudy Giuliani appear to be getting along pretty well, the status of Rudy's relationship with his daughter isn't as clear. In her 2020 Vanity Fair essay, Caroline wrote this about her relationship with her dad. "We are multiverses apart, politically and otherwise. I've spent a lifetime forging an identity in the arts separate from my last name, so publicly declaring myself as a Giuliani feels counterintuitive. But I've come to realize that none of us can afford to be silent right now." At the same time, Caroline has also conceded that her father respects her political views. During his 2022 campaign for New York governor, Andrew also hinted at having disagreements with his father. However, in an interview with the Washington Post, he also made sure to highlight the fact that he still respects his dad, despite their occasional butting of heads. Andrew told the outlet, "We're Italians. It stays in the family." During a primary debate 2 months later, Andrew said he was happy to have the last name Giuliani. He told the crowd, "I'm very proud of my name. People would say, well, with a famous last name, it's easy to run in politics. I would tell you, with a name like Andrew, it's very difficult to be the leading candidate for governor in a Republican primary." As both Caroline and Andrew continue to grow in their careers, and as their father wades through growing legal troubles, it will be interesting to see how their family dynamic evolves.